Yesterday, Emmanuel Macron, he's saying that France is going to recognize a Palestinian state. We have other nations in the EU saying this. Benjamin Netanyahu is saying, no, we're not. It's amazing how things are lining up, aren't they? I want to get a report today from Aaron, our reporter on the ground in Israel. But folks, I also would urge you to take a listen to last night's broadcast. It all should be there, I'm pretty sure, at worldviewtube.com, worldviewtube.com. One of the things we talked about last night with all of our guests really is the fact that the federal government now, Department of National Intelligence, is putting out a warning about Al-Qaeda threatening America, hitting soft targets in America. Where have they been? We've been talking about this now for a few years, have we not? Particularly since October 7th. And now all of a sudden the government wants to talk about it. Well, I asked Annie Cyrus last night in an interview. I asked Dave Gobbets, who went undercover in over 425 mosques in America last night, about it in another interview. And in a separate interview, I asked Hadia about it. All of them had the same response. This is the government putting out a press release, warning you about these multiple attacks and multiple shooters hitting multiple soft targets at one time, so they can say, well, we told you. This is simply to lay down a marker. We were trying to tell you. While the borders have been open and the stage has been set. Now they're saying it's going to be Al-Qaeda. Why are they choosing Al-Qaeda? Why are they not choosing ISIS? Why are they not saying Iran? Why are they not saying the International Revolutionary Guard? Why are they saying Al-Qaeda? Could it be, I'm sorry, I just have to call it the way it is, because this administration has, well, they openly stated that we saved the leader of Iran's life by calling off Israel. Well, if we have terrorist attacks by Iran, or if they're warning about terrorist attacks, can they really say, well, the terrorist attacks are maybe going to come from Hezbollah, Iranian terror cells, IRGC? How can you say that's where the terrorist attacks are going to come from if you have just called off of Israel off of eliminating the leader of Iran? You can't. So you have to say something else. So I guess they're going to say Al-Qaeda. Now, all of my guests last night, independently of each other, said don't get confused by all the names. I want to ask Aaron about this. I wonder if the Israelis figured this out some time ago. All of my guests independently said, don't get confused by all the names. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, IRGC, Hezbollah. Don't get confused by all these names. Part of this is to confuse you. And many of these names, they all run together. They all work together. Memory, which is a Middle Eastern group that they track Middle Eastern stuff. They do a great job. They showed here a video back in June of this leader, Saad al-Awlaki, and he's calling for jihad attacks on U.S. officials, including President Trump, Vice President Vance, Rubio, Hegseth, and their families, Elon Musk and his companies, U.S. military, Microsoft, and targeting Jews in America and Europe, and that there are no red lines. Now, when I played this video last night, Hadia, she said, I'm a little shocked that there's an ISIS flag behind him. I'm a little shocked he's got an ISIS flag back there. Which further caused her to say, we can't get caught up in all the names. That's meant to deceive everyone. And the fact he's even got that ISIS flag back there proves the point. If you also go to worldviewreport.com today, worldviewreport.com, jihad in Italy. Muslims and leftist terrorists riot and destroy cities for refusal to recognize Palestinian terror state. That's in Italy. However you say this guy's name, Abd al-Jabbar Saad. He's an official at Hamas terror organization. and is a senior faculty member at a Qatari university. Hello. Can we, again, please acknowledge the close relationship Hamas, Qatar, and their proponents all have together? Well, we're trying to cut deals with them and build all kinds of businesses. Egypt, according to this report, and we're going to get into this with Aaron, Egypt now sees Israel as an imminent threat. That's the headline. At an emergency summit in Doha, President Sisi escalated his rhetoric on Israel and may now seek to revive Cairo's vision of an Arab military alliance. There's word that Egypt may be about to call up and draft and recruit a massive army. Other than that, it's a great day. Everything's going fine. Joining me now is Aaron Lavarco out of the Middle East. Tonight, I think he's live out on the street. I think he's in Tel Aviv, but we'll check and see. Aaron, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, great to be with you, Brandon. It's been a while. Firstly, let me say Happy New Year. Today is our Jewish New Year. We call it Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, and we say Hag Sameach, Happy Festival. It's the year 5786, according to our rabbinic sages. It's not the official biblical New Year. That's at Passover when we came out of Egypt, but traditionally it's the belief that it's when God created the world, and so we celebrate him as the Almighty King. We get our apples and we dip it in the honey, and we all say, may we have a sweet New Year. And we all, the Jewish people, they say, may your name be inscribed in the book of life. So, and like you said, apart from all the bad news that you've just mentioned, it's a great day.
It's a good day otherwise. All right, well, where do we start? Let's start with Emmanuel Macron at the United Nations yesterday. This is still going on. President Trump was there today. He basically said, you guys are worthless. You can't even make your teleprompters and escalators work. His escalator went out on his way up with Melania. His teleprompter went out. He's like, I've stopped 7 wars. What have you guys done? Yesterday, he came out against the vaccines and so many things and the schedule. I loved those clips from yesterday. So again, I got to throw in the good. With some of the concerns, I always have to throw in some great victories and where I'm happy as well to balance the scales and be fair. And yesterday, watching that press conference by President Trump in the White House on these vaccines, warning about them and talking about how stupid it is that we give little babies, these beautiful little babies, as he says, these vaccines, load them up like they're a horse with these vaccines, this ridiculous schedule. And why are we giving hepatitis B? Why are we giving hepatitis B to little babies? Are they going to be intravenous drug users, prostitutes? Why don't we wait till they're 12, he said. It was pretty refreshing to hear all this because this is what we've all been saying, folks. So I got to balance the scales. Now, President Trump did go to the UN, but yesterday was Emmanuel Macron, and France, I guess, wants to recognize a Palestinian state. Listen to Emmanuel Macron.
Rien ne justifie plus la...
Oh, wow. Did he not speak in English, Logan? I thought we had a clip of him saying this in English. Let me see.
And?
No, we're going to have a translator. I'm pretty sure he said it in English at one point, one clip. I played it last night. Did we not get it finally in English? Well, I'm going to see if I can find it. Maybe this is it.
C'est pourquoi.
No, it's still French. I thought we played this last night in English. So we'll have to try to find it. But in the meantime, I'm sure you heard this, right, Aaron?
Oh, yes, Brandon. I watched it live. I watched everything. Absolutely amazed at Donald Trump's speech. Not amazed and not shocked and not surprised by Macron's speech. He's been threatening to go ahead and declare a Palestinian state for a number of months now. Actually, just the other day, like last week, he was thinking of reneging on it because of some of the conditions that he's calling the Palestinian leadership to do. But let me make it clear to every viewer that, number one, this is all on paper. This is far from being implemented. It is dangerous, no question about it. But everyone, it's on paper. Before October the 7th, I believe the statistics were about 75% of the nations at the United Nations.
Did we just lose Aaron? I think he just froze up. He might pop back in. I don't know. Apparently, by the way, Emmanuel Macron, did he get stuck today because of President Trump's motorcade? There's a video of it. Is he the one is this it right here? Is this him? Is he in the street talking to New York police trying to get out? Oh my, here we go. He calls Trump on the phone. It's all clean. Nobody's cussing. Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry, I'm the president. I'm really sorry. It's just that everything's in frozen right now. There's a motorcade coming right now. That's why. I'm sorry.
If you don't see it, let me cross.
So now he's on the phone calling President Trump.
How are you?
How are you?
Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you.
So Emmanuel Macron was stuck behind a barrier, just like us common citizens, because Daddy was coming to the UN. He calls him up. Hey, Dad, I'm stuck behind a barrier because I'm waiting for you. Oh, wow. All right. Have we reconnected with Aaron? Well, we'll try to do that during the break and come back with Aaron live in Tel Aviv. And we'll continue on some of the news. I want to particularly get to what's going on with Egypt. Apparently, they're trying to raise up a big army. Now, there's another story. Of course, the Secret Service today say they broke up an imminent telecom threat in New York. That's interesting. But did you also know that there's a test going on in Vietnam? The Great Reset in motion. Apparently, lots and lots of people, 200 million bank accounts, or around there, gone. We'll be right back.
Consumers often ask, what should I expect when I take the Bella Grace elixir? And the answer's varied. It really depends on what your health and wellness needs are. I would consider this as your foundational core product for a whole range of health and wellness issues. Let me give you a few examples. If you're a little bit older and you have some joint health issues, some problems with mobility and discomfort, the elixir is going to be your best friend. If you have some skin health issues, wrinkles, hydration, aging, all of those elements are going to be benefited from the elixir, including age spots. Now, if you're in a younger demographic, maybe visual health is where you need some assistance. Eye fatigue, dry eyes, all of those are going to be benefited by the elixir. It's a core product because it benefits so many.
Welcome back. We're still showing that video of Macron. I played a video last night of him in English talking about recognizing the Palestinian state. But I want to get my numbers right here on Vietnam. 86 million, not 200 million, 86 million unverified bank accounts in Vietnam have now either been erased or frozen. Apparently, after a recent cleaning and biometric verification of the 200 million bank accounts registered in 2023, only 113 million personal and over 711,000 organizational accounts are now deemed active. So you got 86 million that are not. Now, some are saying this is a test of the Great Reset. Your bank accounts frozen or erased? All right, we'll get to that. We'll see if we can today. If not, certainly tonight. We did reconnect with Aaron. Aaron, let's go back. So Emmanuel Macron, we just played a video in the audio of him standing on the street corner behind a barrier. He can't go anywhere. He's just acting, he's getting treated like one of us, just an average guy, stopped on the street, can't go anywhere because Donald Trump's motorcade's coming through. And the police officer is apologizing to him, a New York police officer, but I can't do anything about it. Sorry. And he calls up President Trump saying, I'm trapped waiting on you to arrive. But what are people saying today in Israel about all of these world leaders, and a lot of them out of Europe, that are wanting to recognize a Palestinian state? What are the papers in your country saying?
Well, the first thing, Brennan, is before October the 7th, about 75% of the nations at the United Nations, they had already pretty much agreed that they were going to vote on it anyway. So it was pretty much a done deal. Macron and Sturmer from England, they were the ones that are pushing it in these last days, and they've pushed it. So it's not a total surprise, number one. Number two, this is only on paper. There's a long way to go before this is implemented. Number one, because the Palestinians, they need to live up to some requirements. Even the French, even Macron and the British have said that they need to do a few things before they're recognized, including they need to recognize Israel. They need to disarm. They need to re-educate. Do you really think that this is going to happen? I don't know about that, but like I said, there's a bit of a way to go, but it's dangerous. It is very, very dangerous, because all it needs is a deceitful leader who comes along and says, you know what, let's just, for the sake of getting our recognition, let's agree and let's do what our Muslim brothers in the past have done. Let's make an agreement and then just break it. Because according to Muslim tradition, when a well-known leader, Abu Bakr, made a deal and then he just broke it. And this is the Muslim belief, that you can break a treaty with an enemy. So these are the main things that are being talked about. Number one, that it's on paper. Number two, that it's not a surprise. We knew this day was coming. But the other thing is, and here's a big bit of news, is that Bibi, it's expected. Can you hear me, Brandon? Because it looks like I've cut out. Am I good?
But
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It's expected that Bibi Netanyahu is going to annex Judea and Samaria. This is going to be in response that he is going to annex the Judea and Samaria. He's going to basically declare sovereignty, even though it is ours. We've got the American backing, thankfully. By the way, can I just add, I watched the speech of Donald Trump at the United Nations. I was in awe, Brannon. I was absolutely in awe. That was one of the greatest speeches I've heard myself. He really let the United Nations know what he thinks. He put them in the place like no one else ever has. Some people are saying that they are maybe going to retaliate and call him, what's it called, persona non grata. But in any event, this process, there's going to be massive ramifications. Brandon, you mentioned what's happening in Italy. It is just unbelievable. These pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza demonstrators, for anyone that still hasn't woken up, the leaders of this Palestinian state, God forbid, should there be one, they will be terrorists. They are the same leaders. They are Hamas. Hamas are the leaders of the Palestinian people. While politically it's recognized that the Palestinian Authority are, Hamas are ruling the streets. They are the leaders. Terrorists who murdered, who chopped in two babies, who incinerated babies, who raped ladies, who murdered Holocaust survivors. They are the leaders of this Palestinian state. So if you're watching and you're demonstrating for them, you are demonstrating for these kind of people. So we're preparing ourselves, and we're preparing militarily as well. Gaza is not over. And by the way, that's why I think the main reason why Sisi from Egypt is concerned and he is worried, because we are on the verge, Brannon. We are a matter of, I don't know, weeks, maximum a few months away from fully taking over the Gaza Strip. 600,000 Palestinians have now been moved out it's approximately another 400,000. We are doing what Netanyahu said we were going to do, and that is to take out the terrorists and take out any threat on our borders. So it's happening, and we are praying for our brave soldiers who are out there tirelessly working. And while they're fatigued, there's a good spirit among our soldiers. They are sending messages to the nation during this time of holiday that they're going to get the job done. So with God's help, it's going to happen.
Why is Egypt so nervous? What if you guys are going to take over the Gaza completely? Are they worried you guys are going to shove several thousand Palestinians over their border, or what are they worried about? Why are they so nervous? Why do they look like, according to some sources, it looks like Egypt's preparing for war with you guys?
Yeah, I've been following up some Egyptian experts, listening to their take on the situation. The Egyptians kind of have a belief that the Israelis are always plotting, always planning something to do against the Egyptians. And maybe they have some inner intelligence, things that we don't know about, like, for example, what we've been doing in Iran, what we've been doing in Syria. But for the most part, we will be right on their border. Another big issue is, what are all these Palestinian people going to do? Are they going to somehow break through the fence into Egypt? What's going to happen? Is another issue that Sisi's concerned about, Brandon, is the inner pressures from within his own country, like the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamic Jihad. You know, you mentioned these different factions of Muslim fundamentalists. For the most part, Egypt is relatively internally quiet. If those fundamentalists within his nation know that Israel is right on the border, they're not going to put up with that. Why? Because Islamic fundamentalism cannot accept the existence of the state of Israel. That's it in a nutshell. So he's getting ready for internal conflict as well. So what he's doing by threatening to rally up tank soldiers, he's flexing some muscle internationally, but also to his own people, letting them know he's not going to sit by idly. Otherwise, he could be in for a coup. Some of these groups may try to overthrow him and flex their own muscle. So he's got big troubles on his hands.
Okay, now let's switch to America. Our DNI is now putting out a bulletin on Friday. We did extensive reporting on it last night. It'll be up at worldviewtube.com, the different interviews. Hadia Miramonde, she'll be with us at our National Worldview Weekend, which is in Clareville this year, October 3rd and 4th, Friday night and Saturday. And she, of course, worked with people like Muammar Gaddafi and so many people, President George H., Obama, all on down the line. And she says, as well as did Dave Gobbets and A. Cyrus, that our government's doing this now because the chatter is louder. The chatter is louder, but they know something's coming. Maybe they don't know what and where, but they know something's coming. And so they're getting out in front of it, kind of the, hey, we warned you. So when it happens, what do you make of the fact that it sounds like an October 7th style, small groups of gunmen hitting soft targets at the same time, on the same day, or within the same 48 hours, that some of these experts are saying is going to make 9/11 look small, unfortunately, and that they're going to hit in places where you don't expect it, so that it makes everyone afraid, even in small town USA. So this bulletin goes out. We talked about it. We have this leader in this video of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula calling on attacking Jews in Europe and the United States and other soft targets. So what do you make of this?
Well, we've been talking about this for practically years, even going back to September the 11th. That was a wake-up call that showed us what they're capable of. That was back then. How many more millions and millions of illegals have crept into your country? How many more Muslims are taking over places in Europe, we know what they want. They are not hiding what they want. So the handwriting is on the wall. They mean what they say, and they do what they say. So you can guarantee, I hate to say it, I don't like speaking negatively, and I don't like speaking words, but you know, Rosh Hashanah, by the way, the new Jewish New Year, it's the time that we blow the shofar. It's the feast of Yom Teruah, the blowing of the shofar. And in the Bible, the blowing of the shofar was to wake people up, to warn people, and to ask Almighty God to come and act on our path. These people are warning the people. I don't know where they get their intelligence from. Listen, you and I and many of us, we've been talking about it for a long time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I hate to say it. I don't want it to happen. But you know, for me, it's clear something is going down. The internal security is not enough. I just hope that the people are somewhat ready. It's like the Lord said about the wise man who builds his house on the rock. It's not if the floods come, it's when the floods come. How are people going to react? This is a big question. And that's why we need to prepare people now, get ready now, get prepared now, Brandon. So that's my response.
When you have today, we're reporting today at worldviewreport.com, as are others, that the Secret Service, they're saying that they broke up imminent telecom threat in New York City. And when I read that, I thought, well, wouldn't that be a way to make a terrorist attack worse and to keep it going and to hit multiple sites and not be able to get first responders there? Because the DNI report's talking about first responders and warning first responders. Well, if you don't have communications, you got a big problem. And so were they testing with all these leaders there in New York to see what our response would be for taking down our communications on an October 7th style event in America? We'll be right back.
Introducing the Sentry Wellness System, the ultimate undersink water treatment solution designed with you in mind. Say goodbye to harmful toxins and hello to water enriched with essential nutrients like calcium and magnesium. Enjoy the benefits of increased pH for on-demand alkalinity, all from a zero-waste system that fits seamlessly into your home. Installation is a breeze, taking just 15 minutes, so you can have clean, healthy, great-tasting water straight from your tap. Perfect for apartments, homes, rentals, and even RVs. Elevate your hydration and well-being with the Sentry Wellness System because you deserve the best in every drop.
Sentry H2O. Tap into wellness.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. So, big news today. Secret Service supposedly broke up what would be a major threat to our communications. Agents discovered more than 300 SIM card servers and 100,000 SIM cards at several locations within a 35-mile radius of New York City, according to a statement on Tuesday. The Street Service moved quickly given that any attack could have severely disrupted New York at a time when world leaders are gathered in the city for a meeting at the UN. They said that Secret Service hasn't publicly called out any nation, in part because of sensitivities around this week's UN. Well, that tells you they probably know then, right? The potential for disruption to our country's telecommunications posed by this network of devices cannot be overstated. So said Secret Service Director Sean Curran. He said the investigation makes it clear to potential bad actors that imminent threats to our protectees would be immediately investigated, tracked down, and dismantled. Bad actors using SIM card servers and thousands of cards can send anonymous threat and conduct attacks, such as disabling cell towers and overwhelming communication networks. Let's just stop right there. Because one of the things we do here, of course, is connect dots. And notice that it says it could be used to send anonymous threats. Now, if you have Al-Qaeda or any of these terrorist groups, don't really worry about their names, we're told they're all working together anyway. If they're going to do multiple attacks, what way to disrupt first responders and everybody is if you call in, use the telecommunication system to call in anonymous threats, many of them false threats, to multiple locations. How does anyone know they're responding to the right location? Or the goal is to get them out and away from where they're really going to attack. 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles down the road at the other end of town while they hit the opposite end of town and wait for them to try to come back in. So I don't think we can discount, folks, this breaking news story today when it comes to the DNI report that came out Friday. Now, I want to go to you, Aaron. Does any of this sound similar to what they did on October 7th with your communications, or any such false threats that they use to distract first responders and your national security while they carry out another? Does this sound anything like what you're hearing or have heard or seen in Israel?
It does, absolutely, Brennan. And also when you think of the Pages operation, and listen, what you're talking about, to me, is probably the most crucial part of this war. I'll say it again. What you're talking about is the most crucial part. Counterintelligence, military intelligence. This is where our Mossad, and it's been proved with the Pages, with Iran, with Syria, we're years ahead of these people. This is tactical and strategic warfare. My question is, who is ahead of who in the United States? Are the fundamentalists ahead of your authorities, or are your authorities ahead of them? Big question, because whoever's going to be ahead is going to get the upper hand. Now, this is where I hope that the Mossad are helping with the CIA, because the Mossad are experts on this. They're not perfect, but they've been operating for years. They've been operating in COVID situations. And believe me, I know people who write about this. This is cyber warfare. This is where it's going big time. And the same with our enemies, with your enemies. They also are becoming more and more alert and masters in this field. But, you know, October the 7th, definitely there are reports that maybe there was an infiltration. There was even reports that there was betrayal from some of our own people in this field. But then you've got the pager situation where we were able to take out with one phone call thousands of Hezbollah operatives because we dealt with the communications. And the other way with the Hezbollah leaders, Nasrallah, we were able to infiltrate where they were, how they were operating, when they were all going to be together. I don't have that information, how we were able to do that, but we did. And the enemies know that now. So they're running scared. But I just hope and I pray that the American intelligence, it's a big question. We know with the previous administration how weak and you've said many times, Brandon, that the CIA is corrupt.
Oh yeah.
I would hate to think that they are not putting the national security interests of the people first, because you're going to need it with these enemies who have infiltrated, who are infiltrating. They're getting the funding from Qatar, from Iran, from Saudi Arabia. The strategic and tactical. Mm-hmm. And these look how much they planned in advance. September 11, Brandon. That was what, 2, 3, a dozen people at most. That's all. Yep. Millions and millions have come into the United States.
Ryan Ruth has been found guilty on all charges in the attempted assassination of President Trump. You'll remember that's when he camped out by that hedge of bushes and chain link fence while President Trump was out golfing. So there you go. Let me go to a quick clip, because talk about, again, Mark of the Beast technology persecuting conservatives and Christians. Listen to what this gentleman is saying about folks in Vietnam.
Privacy and a setup for control, miss it, and you'll be stuck in immigration. Airports shut down, flights grounded, not dictated by the OECD, where one late payment dings your score. What's for sure is Vietnam is the test, and America is next. I've seen this movie in other countries. The trailer says efficiency, the plot twist is control, leaving room for abuse. Vietnam sells this as part of Agenda 2045, and the fallout was apocalyptic. This exposes the trap. One glitch, and you're practically locked out of your own life. Picture this. You are sipping your café sedan in Saigon and scrolling your banking app, and boom, your bank account vanishes in thin air. No email, no warning, just a digital black hole where your money used to be. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, for millions in Vietnam, it's a reality, as Vietnam wiped out over 86 million bank accounts. That's right, 86 million. The official narrative says it's about security and efficiency, but come on. This screams of the World Economic Forum playbook, a stealth strike in the Great Reset Wars. Remember when Vietnam fired 245,000 officials overnight and called it efficiency? And when Vietnam issued the gas vehicle ban starting in 2026? This is the next chapter in Vietnam surrendering to the Great Reset and the globalists' agenda. And it's happening faster than a motorbike dodging traffic on Wingway Street. Stick around as we're exposing today about what's going on, why this can be a trap, and what are the workarounds.
All right, there you go. 86 million people, bank accounts wiped out, frozen in Vietnam, part of the Great Reset. People are warning that Vietnam is a test. It sounds like the Mark of the Beast system is ramping up very quickly. What do you think, Aaron?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 Thessalonians, that passage has come to me a lot. It talks not only about that mark of the beast, that people will not be able to buy or sell without the mark, but also a great falling away is going to happen. We've talked a lot about that, how a weak Christianity who are not mature in God's word, who do not receive the love of the truth, and because of that, there's going to be a strong delusion that's going to be sent by the Lord. But definitely we're shaping up. You go and buy things these days. You can swipe your cell phones, swipe your cards. And to make it more efficient and more easier, it's just a matter of time before they want to implement the chip. So definitely that mark is coming. It's unbelievable days that we're living in. Thank God we have the scriptures to warn us. We know we're on course. We know God's word abides forever. So we're anchored to his word. We're planted. We're standing on his word. And that's the safe place to be in these days.
Amen to that. All right. Speaking of God's word, let's talk about Revelation chapter 21. I did my Bible study on Sunday night, and then I brought some of this to the news desk yesterday. And the Revelation chapter 21, verse 2 and 3 talks about the new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God. Many theologians believe that we will, of course, have this new earth and this new heaven. As we saw in Revelation 20, the earth and the sky, the heavens flew away from God. We have the white throne judgment, all the judgment of all the unbelievers of all the ages. And then boom, we roll into the eternal state. Now we have a new heaven and a new earth. The earth is basically melted and gone away. 2 Peter describes in great detail. And now we have a new heaven and new earth, and down comes from heaven the new Jerusalem. Some theologians think it will be like a satellite, like a moon, and we can go back and forth. Others think it will come and sit down right on top of the earth. I don't know which one it is, but whether it's hovering off or right on top, it's going to be a new earth and a new Jerusalem. Now, that means then many theologians believe we're going to basically have two Jerusalems, the one on the new earth, but the new Jerusalem that comes down. Tell me how much you guys there in Israel that are Messianic Christians think about this or talk about this. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I do believe that it will be an actual new Jerusalem because it's quite descriptive with the materials of the streets. and the gold and the sapphire and all of that. Some people claim that we are part of the New Jerusalem, we individuals, because the Lamb, he will be the light, and we are the body of the Lamb, we are the body of the Lord. And it's interesting because the Hebrew word for Jerusalem is Yerushalayim, which is a plural word. It's not singular. And you know, the question is why is it plural? Is it because historically Jerusalem has had many different faces? Canaanite Jerusalem, Israelite Jerusalem, Babylonian, Greek, Roman, etc. But the other theory is what we're talking about, the earthly Jerusalem and the heavenly Jerusalem. So it's not a huge topic talked about. It's a topic of hope. It's a topic of something that you know, or the heavens are going to open up. This new Jerusalem is going to come down like a bride. We're going to be part of it, whatever that means. Yeah, it's a topic, but it's not a huge topic that we talk about, but something exciting. And I don't know if I'm going to be a tour guide in the New Jerusalem. I might have to go back to school and learn a bit more about it before I am.
1-800-347-9829. Let's open the phone lines. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions on any of these topics today. 1-800-347-9829. 1-800-347-9829. We'll go to our quick break and come back, take your calls as you get on board right now. 1-800-347-9829. Don't you find it a little ironic that there's this big push for a Palestinian state? Now folks are rioting, burning things down in Italy. This seems to be trying to ignite folks around the country, Islamic groups and whatnot around the country. With all that's going on, with all the potential terrorist threats, makes me wonder if they're not using some of this to put people in the streets that could then be used as cover for those terrorist attacks. What are your thoughts before we go to break? Aaron?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to go to break. Yeah. So what I'm sorry. What is the exact question?
Well, we're going to go to break. We'll come back. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go. And your calls, 1-800-347-9829. The businessman from Texas that spent years trying to bring the perfect red heifers to Israel is coming to speak in Collierville, Tennessee, outside of Memphis, on Friday night, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th. They now have sacrificed one of those red heifers. There it is burning. They've now gained 10 gallons of ashes. Why do they need this? Well, the Old Testament, Numbers chapter 19, says that for the purification ceremony, for their temporary tabernacle or full-time temple, they need the ashes of a perfect red heifer. This is the first time this has happened in over 2,000 years. The story is going global. It's highly controversial. In fact, there's even a connection between the attacks on Israel on October 7th and these 5 red heifers. Come and hear him speak live in person, Friday night, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th. Full details, worldviewstore.com, and to get your tickets, worldviewstore.com, worldviewstore.com. Okay, welcome back. 1-800-347-9829. My quick answer, because the phone lines are lighting up now, Aaron. But I said that isn't it interesting that these nations are all pushing for this Palestinian state, getting people all fired up, and now we've got riots going on in Italy. You have Muslims and leftists terrorize, riot, and destroy cities for refusal to recognize Palestinian terror state. What I was saying is this would be, if you could get these folks to riot in the streets in various cities, and particularly here also in America, that would be cover for these terrorist attacks. Again, your first responders are stretched thin because they've gotten folks into the street, rioting, a lot of them wearing keffiyehs and whatnot, and now your terrorists blend in. Comments before we go to the phone lines.
Brandon, what this is, the precedent that this is setting is that violence pays, terrorism pays. Going out on the streets, protesting with violence is paying. That's the message. Where are the police? Where are the soldiers? Why aren't they clamping down? I'll tell you why, because they're afraid. These people have taken over, and in some of these countries, even the police and the soldiers are part of them. They're siding with them. I like the way the leader of the opposition in England responded to Britain's prime minister voting for a Palestinian state. She said, Mr. Sturmer, he's got a Palestinian state, but Hamas has got the UK. Isn't that an interesting statement, what she said? Sturmer has got a Palestinian state, but Hamas has got the UK. This is what's happening. Terror and violence. These protests are violent. It is paying. That's the message. The authorities are weak and they're not clamping down.
Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Dave in Arizona. Hi, Dave. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment to Aaron, wish him a blessed Yom Teruah, and pray everything goes good for him. And we're praying for the peace of Jerusalem. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. God
Jim,
bless you.
line 4. Hi, Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, yes. I just saw a report this morning. I wonder if you guys can confirm it, that this Syrian leader is a terrorist. They're being wined and dined in New York. You guys know about this?
Oh, wow. Jim, thank you for bringing that up because I was going to discuss it and completely forgot. So thank you. Aaron, can you believe this? We discussed this last night with all of our guests as well. You got the president of Syria who's slaughtering Christians in the Middle East, getting the red carpet rolled out for him to the UN and in America. I mean, Hadia, Annie, so many people are livid. People in the Middle East, I'm told, are livid because they know this man has been involved in the murder of Christians. You want to comment?
I think I'm too shocked to comment, but simply put, woe to them who put evil for good and good for evil, and darkness for light, light for darkness. Isaiah the prophet got it right many, many years ago. And once again, I'll bring up what Donald Trump, his speech to the United Nations. He was absolutely calling them out for what they are. That they are not only are they not doing the job, but the job that they are doing is corrupt, is they are siding with the enemy. Then he even said they could be a good force. They could be a good influence on the world. But sadly, with their Marxist leader, with their wrong ideologies, and letting in these terrorists like Jolani from Syria, wow.
Well, that's our government.
Kind of
Sadly,
scary.
That's our government that did that, and I don't know why. But I guess it's, again, cutting deals because apparently we want some of the minerals in Syria to tokenize those minerals and put them on our books. You know, this is part of the problem, folks, is we've gotten ourselves in a financial mess in America, and now it's being used to make us or cause us to be tempted and now falling through and cutting horrific deals, putting money ahead of national security, although I know our economy is part of our national security. Dustin in Kansas. Dustin in Kansas, line 2. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, Aaron. Hey, I just wanted to take 2 seconds. There was a couple of announcements, Facebook posts, Twitters, whatever, about the 23rd, that'd be today, being Rapture Day. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, but I'd love to get Aaron's take on it. Brandon, I hear you all the time in your Revelation study. But what are your thoughts on that? It seems like every couple of years, people are assuring the rapture is going to happen one day or another.
Yeah, I don't think we can put a date on that one, but what are your thoughts, Aaron? It didn't happen today so far.
No, it didn't happen yet. And we're here in Israel, we've got about another 2 hours. But I know that I do believe that the feasts of the Lord, the cycles in the calendar, they not only have a past, but they have a future prophetic place. And it is believed that that's when the Lord is going to return, or a rapture. And it's based on the verse that the Lord will descend from heaven with the shout and the voice of the archangel and the trump, or the shofar of God. And this is the Feast of Trumpets. Well, it hasn't happened. People can talk, but it hasn't happened. So we can hope and we can pray. But unless it happens in the next 2 hours, people that have predicted that it's going to happen this year, then they're going to have to they're going to have to come up and say that they were wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Mary, line 1. Hi, Mary. Thanks for calling in. Hey, Mary.
Hello, I'm calling to ask if you will be playing the president's presentation at the UN.
Well, it's already happened, but I will be playing clips of it tonight on Brandon House Live. So yeah, but it's already happened, but we will be playing clips of it. And we've been kind of telling you about it a little bit today. But yeah, I got to go through it and pick some clips to play of it. Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. All right, Aaron, live from Tel Aviv tonight. So much in the news. Egypt, Judea and Samaria. Touch on that one more time, because your prime minister is not messing around when it comes to Judea and Samaria, or what's derogatorily called the West Bank, is he?
Correct. And he's got a number of religious coalitions in his government who really want to see more planting, more settlements, and they're going up. There's one called E1. That's the political international term of a section that's going to bypass a city called Ma'ale Adumim all the way over to Bethlehem. That is massive. That is basically going to put a nail in the coffin for a two-state solution. So this planting and annexing Judea and Samaria is going to make this two-state solution even more impossible. So good move for Benjamin Netanyahu, and you can imagine the people on the left, the liberals, they hate this move, and so there's so much pressure going on.
Stay tuned for Crosstalk, guys. Take care. And we're back with WROS in Jacksonville, Florida, and Worldview Tube, and Aaron live in Israel. Logan, can we get ready to play what your mom and I did last night? Yeah, all right. That's 14 minutes. That is a little longer. I thought it was like 5 or 6 minutes. I guess time flies. You're having fun. Aaron, what else is on your agenda? Anything new on by the way, let me ask you, anything new on the red heifers? Because, we're about to have Byron Stinson with us here a week from this weekend.
I know. I'm so glad he's coming. After he agreed on live with us,
yes, thank you for your help, by the way.
He said, yeah, you're welcome. He actually texted me and he said, Aaron, he said, I'm going to have to tell Brandon that I can't do it because I forgot I already was booked with something. So I'm so glad to know that he's still going to be going ahead with that. I haven't heard anything new about that. I was actually 2 weeks ago, I was in Shiloh. That's going to be one of the coming videos that I'm going to be sending to you and Logan coming up. One is at Shiloh. One is in, did you show the ones I sent the other day was Beit Shemesh and Bethel.
No, we need to play those tonight, Logan. Yeah, we're going to play those tonight.
Okay, I send them through to Logan, so they're waiting. That's Beit Shemesh and Bethel. So Shiloh is coming up as well.
Excellent. All right, now I want you to be safe over there. Stay in touch. Get a good night's sleep. And if anything else happens, you get right back
Brandon.
to us, will you?
I sure will. Thanks. Great to see you. Great to be
too,
you.
my friend. Aaron checking in, lighttothenationsministry.com, brought to you by our foundation, worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. I want you to go real quick in our final moments, if you would here, to Melissa House, Howse, Melissa, Howse, Melissa House, BG, Melissa House, BG.com. Now, because last night, Melissa and I, with one of the folks at Bella Grace, announced a brand new product that we knew was coming for the last few months, but we're asked not to talk about it till it was launched. It was launched last night. Melissa said to me a couple months ago, we should look at Brandon developing something with GLP-1 in it. I didn't know what GLP-1 was, but Melissa had been researching this, and yet almost immediately, Dr. Lucky reached out and said, hey, we have something coming, brand new product that's going to have GLP-1 in it. Well, you say, what is that? Well, it is an all-natural, active ingredient, all natural with your body, that helps you feel full and reduces your cravings for sugar and junk food. There's also what is supposed to be a lot of health benefits for your heart and other things, inflammation and so much more when you consume GLP-1. So now they have the Bella Melt. It's a caramel. Melissa was taking it for a week. And that first week, she lost 3 pounds. She lost 3 pounds in 1 week. Now, she was only doing 1 caramel a day. Turns out she didn't know, but she found out last night when we were on the air with Dr. Lucky, she can do one after every meal, 2 or 3 of these a day. And there are many people that are losing 20 pounds in about 5 or 6 weeks. And again, this is all natural, and you can start right now making your orders. And apparently last night, I'm told there was a lot of orders made when we introduced Bella Melt. So again, Melissa was on it just the first week alone. She lost 3 pounds. And she said, it wasn't like I was trying. I just started taking it. And her appetite was greatly curved. And it also helped to speed up her metabolism. So check it out at Melissa House, MelissahHowsebg.com. Okay. This is one of our sponsors. It's a great way to support us and your health. Of course, you know, I take the Bella Grace Elixir every day. I've got an amazing hair growth from the collagen. It's top drawer collagen. The peptides are cut short so your body can actually absorb it. Studies show your body absorbs 95% versus flushing 95% with the cheap collagen. Then you add in the astaxanthin that crosses the brain-blood barrier to take on those free radicals. Then you add the cat's claw, which is the anti-inflammatory. And this has got 80 clinical trials behind it. So please check it out at MelissahHowsebg.com. All right? And that's about it, folks. We'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. Central with the Worldview Report. And then 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, Brandon House Live. A great lineup of guests. We'll talk about what's been going on at the UN. Some more about Vietnam erasing bank accounts. Is this one of the first countries to do this? Is this coming to America? And so much more. And who knows what's going to happen between now and airtime, right? So tell your family and friends, won't you? Hey, don't forget, you can be a part of our 22nd annual Worldview Weekend live in person, worldviewstore.com. Or if you can't make it to be here in person, you can live stream it if you have a Vault membership. worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault. The next time I'm Brandon House. Thanks for watching. Take care.
For more than 32 years. He has served as a bomber squadron commander, bomb disposal technician, Joint Chiefs of Staff Operations Officer,